For the last few years, my friends and I have done our best to watch the entire lineup of films at the Sundance Film Festival. We split up the movies, try to find times where we overlap, and then we just dive right into it. I set a personal record in 2022, 67 movies, 58 of which I watched during the 11-day festival, a little more than 5 movies per day. Maybe that sounds amazing to you. I'll bet to most people it sounds a little like torture. Maybe not Saw cut off your own foot kind of torture, but like a Matilda eat this entire chocolate cake torture. It's a lot of movies. Back to back to back to back to back, and not all the movies are good. I gave 33 of the 67 things that I watched 3 out of 5 stars or less. What's the old joke? The food at this restaurant is terrible and the portions are so small. The food at Sundance is often just okay, and there's a lot of it. So why go to Sundance? Even virtually, since, they canceled the in-person this year. It isn't because Sundance is the best film festival or that they premiere my favorite movies. It isn't, and they don't, but I think I get the purest version of the movie watching experience at Sundance. Nowadays, as a film lover with working internet, it's hard to avoid trailers, spoilers, think pieces. All of it sets you, the viewer, up with some expectations. Could be good, could be bad. And that doesn't mean it ruins your experience. Sometimes it's great to have your expectations fulfilled or subverted, but it bases your experience on something other than what happens between when a movie starts and when it ends. A lot of the movies that Sundance and other festivals like it debut have never been seen before. Usually all you get is the title, a plot description, and a still image. If you're lucky, you might recognize a couple of the actors. It's as unclouded as you'll ever be watching a movie. If you're not seeing the very first screening of a film at the festival, chances are you're seeing it only 2 or 3 days after the world premiere. Getting to see something before tons of people have had a chance to comment on it, or better yet, before anybody has reviewed it or tweeted out their instant reaction, lets you just experience a movie that has the potential to be anything. Could be good, could be bad. Nobody really knows yet. I even enjoy watching mediocre movies more this way because you never know if there's something really interesting waiting for you in the third act. This year, we saw Emily the Criminal at Sundance, and based on the title and the presence of Aubrey Plaza in it, we all sat down assuming comedy. You get about 2 minutes into that movie and you realize it's something else, and it completely surprises you. And getting to see dozens of movies that way was like taking my brain to the spa. Maybe you're thinking, if you don't read so much about other people's opinions, you should get off social media. And obviously, but I don't want to. And I'm only really on Twitter and Letterboxd anyway, leave me alone. It's not just that Sundance premieres movies, it's also at a great time of the year. Arriving in late January, Sundance is a break from what is usually a pretty lousy part of the release calendar. It's a quieter time of year for movies, so it's easier to focus on Sundance. And it's also not subject to as much distracting awards hype as the fall film festivals. Sometimes I find myself watching a movie at Toronto thinking, oh, she's gonna win Best Actress. And I hate it. I hate that my brain works like that. While there are some Sundance movies that make their way to the Oscars, it's not until a full calendar year later, so the festival isn't the launching point that places like Venice or Telluride have become. No, Sundance is for watching movies. You might think the middle of winter isn't a great time to host an event in a cold weather area, but that's also kind of why I like it. Going to the mountains of Utah to watch a bunch of movies is like a fucked up Hollywood dare. Like you're being hazed at the film festival fraternity. Like a cinephilic endurance test, and I love that. No one is coming to Sundance to sit on a yacht in the French Riviera or to eat at a Michelin-starred restaurant between showtimes. Park City's a cute town, but it's not a European capital or a metropolitan city with a lot of activities to offer. People who come to the Sundance Film Festival are doing so because we've all collectively agreed that we value going to the cinema more than our own comfort. If you come to Sundance, you're putting on a pair of long johns, climbing into winter boots, and bringing your puffiest jacket. Hope you enjoy waiting in the cold outside of a high school auditorium before the latest Aubrey Plaza movie. Which is why, even though they canceled all the screenings for Sundance 2022, I made the pilgrimage out to Utah. After all, why watch 50 movies in a week if you can't do it surrounded by gorgeous snowy mountaintops? Really, it was a chance to reconnect with the friends who encouraged this reckless film watching behavior while enjoying a really silly Airbnb with a sick theater room. It's also how we were able to watch so many films. Sundance offered press only 25 movies this year, but with our powers combined, we could see virtually anything. Otherwise, watching 67 movies at this year's Sundance could have required you to spend over $1,000, and that's using the cheapest ticketing option, which gets me at the biggest reason to not do Sundance Cost. It isn't cheap to get out to Utah, and the rental prices in Park City are scarier than Hereditary. That, on top of the price of the badge, is enough to keep most people from experiencing it. But the past 2 years of virtual Sundance has made the festival theoretically way more accessible than ever, if it weren't for the bizarrely priced badges. The top badge at $750 only offered access to 10 movies. $75 tickets? You could buy a single film ticket for $20, but I feel like choosing individual tickets at a festival robs you the chance of random discovery. My hope is that Sundance brings back a sicko mode level with unlimited access to films like they did in 2021, and that they do it at a price that makes sense. You don't have to turn Sundance into an extreme sport the way that we do in order to enjoy it. I'd recommend you don't. Look, I've been offered an array of drugs in my lifetime, both legal and illicit, but I've turned most of them down because I know I have trouble saying no to too much of a good thing. You don't have to be like me. Binge watching is linked with depression, but we're sickos, and this life chose us. Try to watch 10 movies at a film festival. That seems a lot more reasonable. Enough that you're making an event and able to get in some variety. Jump around the catalog and grab a film to make you emotional from the dramatic category, something freaky from the midnight category, a bizarre movie from the next category. Break those up with some thought-provoking documentaries and don't skimp out on the foreign movies. Or stick with one section and watch everything in it. I know I mentioned that not all the films are good, but the programming team does a really great job of making sure that the vast majority of films are at least intriguing, and sometimes it can be fun to wonder how a bad film got into a big festival like this in the first place. A festival like Sundance has enough diversity within its catalog that you can customize it to your taste. But even if Sundance doesn't offer what you're looking for with its movies, I think there are aspects of this that you can adopt into the way that you watch movies all the time. Sundance has become my movie watching highlight of the year. I look forward to it all year, I miss it when it's over, and whenever I can, I try to convince anyone who loves movies to do it too. It did occur to me, perhaps a bit too late in the video making process, that the kind of person willing to watch a nearly 10-minute video about the Sundance Film Festival might also be the kind of person who would be interested in hearing some thoughts on the films from the Sundance Film Festival. But it also feels pretty hypocritical to share my thoughts on the films from Sundance after saying how much I enjoyed not hearing thoughts on those movies from Sundance. I did put some stuff in the video if you're quick with the pause button, and I do have a list of every movie I saw at Sundance ranked in the description down below, and maybe scrolling past me on the screen right now. And considering how long I've been talking, the movies that you're seeing are probably pretty good, so you should probably check those ones out. By the way, that old joke about the restaurant with the terrible food and the small portions, it's a Woody Allen line from the film Annie Hall. I didn't say it earlier because I thought it would be distracting.